Welcome back to YIIK. We're getting our cardio in and just came back down from the mountain, I guess.
And still in search of gainful employment despite the fact that we have $3,700 in change in our pocket.
It is the 90s. That was a lot of money back then.
Yeah, and I mean, not to undervalue Alex's house or anything like that, but you would think that that would actually make a pretty decent contribution towards whatever mortgages or bills they need to pay for the next foreseeable future.
No, I mean, look at this backyard. They could sell the house and keep the backyard. The land there is, like, super valuable.
Again, I feel like something doesn't quite jive here with the story of the 90s versus what we're going through currently. Especially with the money tree right there.
They give us $20 now because inflation's real.
What is this game doing?
It's like Skyrim, where it just tries to scale everything in the universe around you. Oh, hey, Matt. How's that zine going?
Yeah.
Mode Wondershot, I'm starting to think we're not going to get our zine.
I'm starting to think that too, but keep checking in. It could be one of those very delayed gratification kind of side quests that the likes of a Tales game might pull off.
Where you have to keep checking in with him, and like whether or not you get your zine is dependent on your relationship value with him.
Yes, and if you fail to check him at exactly one critical interval, you never get the zine.
Or he just dies off screen or something. I did happen to have some deep dish pizza. I don't know if I consider $15 to be a fair trade.
Well, considering he's likely to get food poisoning from it, considering how long it's been in the inventory.
And where it was before, because we pulled it out of the garbage, right?
Yeah, we did. How about that? Well, you know, that joke was made in Earthbound, and so this game can only rip it off shamelessly.
So I did remember that we got our sick hair whip. Of course, there are like 4 chests back here. Holy shit.
Yeah, that's all right. Oh, but you know,
yeah.
we don't know what those do yet, other than feed this sense of 90s gratification.
Yeah. So we did get a sweet backpack so we can complete our uber frosh look.
Well, what does it actually do?
I'll show you. It gives you +5 PP, and frankly, I think Alex needs that a lot more than he needs speed.
You know what? That is a very good build choice there, buddy. You're optimizing this game as we speak. So I just heard an engine there. Does a car actually go by in Frankton at some point?
No. I mean, there are cars that we've seen, but none at this particular time.
Well, he's a stand-up gentleman, that one. There's actually kind of a funny joke in there in terms of the naming.
Oh, I get it, because he was a comedian.
You made me split a small grin there, Y2K.
Ha 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 ha, that's a real knee slapper, that Nirvana joke. I thought maybe we could make some money off of shooting hoops with that guy, like do a pickup game. I don't know if that's gainful employment.
I rather doubt it, especially given that, despite the obvious joke, Alex cannot, in fact, jump.
I don't even know what to say to that.
That's right, I went there. These comedy stylings are too hardcore today in Y2K. It strikes me that we were, again, sort of given some guidance, or were we really, in terms of what to do as far as what getting meaningful, gainful employment might actually entail?
Well, I was talking to these people because I was like, hey, you want me to mow your lawn or something, right? Seems like a good way to make a quick buck.
But then there are rocks that need to be broken.
Yes, and this one has a chest because of
Nice.
course it does.
It's not quite on the level of Disaster Day of Crisis where you break open a rock and it contains fire.
I was standing on that skull because I thought maybe that's how you get to the death route, but no such luck.
Ah, well. Does the hair whip cutting that result in anything meaningful?
No, it is unfortunately not also a chest. I don't actually know why it's here.
Alright, we're a 27-year-old hipster who is causing financial distress to our family due to being in college for far too long. What exactly do we do in terms of employment?
Well, my first thought was that if we can't be a radio DJ, we can do the next best thing and go to the record store, right?
You know, that is actually a pretty logical progression for that.
Yeah, no, I was like, this is literally the only thing of these choices the game's given me that makes any sense.
Well, it was a brave attempt, but...
Alex, man. Shit, you only got like 10 charisma.
On a scale of what? Because I went to Fallout there for a second.
On a scale of like, I mean, what's the maximum that you normally start with? 18?
Oh, so you're thinking of
Yeah, I was thinking of D&D.
Yeah, okay. Because charisma also exists in Fallout, where 10 is actually the maximum.
Unfortunately, I can't also work with the pharmaceutical rep, so that sucks.
Sporting goods seems slightly outside of Alex's purview, but...
Yeah, we don't know anything about sports.
Though I rather question this guy knowing anything about sports too, considering the only things he seemed to be selling are the wooden Japanese-style sword, a hula hoop, and various pieces of headwear and jerseys.
But the hula hoop has an icon next to it, so who does that belong to?
Huh.
I mean, that's a spoiler if I've ever seen one.
We don't quite know the full context for it yet, so... He's got Alex pegged on that one.
I'll show you we can't flip burgers.
You know, that's fair.
He doesn't take it well.
Considering this appears to be sort of a small local diner, I can understand them being a little bit skeptical when it comes to their hiring practices. Pizza Pasta, on the other hand, we are fairly certain is a chain at this point.
Yeah, it's definitely a chain, because there's one in Southtown.
Was there also a burger joint in Southtown?
I don't believe there was.
I prepare to be very much corrected on that point. But for now, the job hunt, as it were, continues. So I suppose we can only live the nerd dream and consider working at the arcade?
There is also the camera shop. We haven't gone there yet, mostly because we're not playing Michael.
True.
I can't imagine how this will go badly.
Well, at least she was straightforward about it. My fear was actually that we were going to end up working at the arcade and lead to some awkward simulacrum of attempted sexual tension between Alex and Bella.
Oh shit, yeah, you're right. Bullet dodged.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a hard pass for me, game. Alright, let's see if maybe we can get a job at the camera store.
I mean, we've already been through Alex's inner multi-log where that has apparently crossed his mind on an occasion worth commenting on, so...
get a job. We tried.
Hello, Mr. Smith. The election is drawing near. Have you decided on your vote?
I already said there was no time for that. Okay, look, kiddo, I gotta go. Say hi to your sister for me.
I couldn't deal with this. I was going to unplug this phone. I winced every time this stupid thing rang.
It's obviously defective.
Then how are you going to save your game?
I mean, we can just use the one in the mine dungeon.
True, but we can't access the mine dungeon without the phone. Conundrum.
They had cell phones in 1999, right? We just have to not die.
Yeah.
And of course I have to be able to stomach playing this game for however long it takes Alex to get a personal cell phone.
I will say, it would be nice to see one of those giant Nokia bricks somewhere, just as a sort of appreciable nod to what 1999 was like.
Oh hey, Death. I love that place. I thought maybe I'd be able to find another want ad in the internets.
Oh.
But no, it's just another chain forwarding thing.
See, how I interpret that is almost, that is the closest thing to a reference to actual Y2K that I can perceive.
Oh yeah.
So we're talking about 56K modems and the approach of death. I feel like there's, if you kind of squint and look at it sideways, we're having one of these.
Well, only for a little bit.
I was having this recurring dream.
Oh no.
It was a weird dream. The sort of dream that shouldn't be scary because the imagery is actually pretty tame.
Yeah, surrealism
Still,
as
no matter what I
subject
did,
of horror
I just
is,
couldn't shake the feeling the dream
you know,
gave me
something
the
you
next
can
morning.
approach. It's why I keep mentioning
There's
Killer
this
7.
woman. She's a woman made of plastic and we're watching her. Yes, we are, you and I. We observe her emotions,
Ooh,
form,
fancy
discuss
fourth
the
wall
state of her
breaking.
condition.
Well done, game.
We're not doctors in the dream. We have no intention of helping her. But at the same time, I don't think we want to hurt her. There's a third person there. But she doesn't speak. In fact, we never see her face.
Have I ever mentioned how much I love
think
that
she's
portrait
judging
of
us.
Alex?
In a
The
way,
raise your skinny fist
we
to
were not
heaven
trying
one?
to impress her.
Yeah, he's not even managing
more
to
than I
raise
do.
it
For
to
some reason,
low
you're a
Earth
woman.
orbit at that rate, though.
But I guess that isn't so strange now, is it?
Okay. Now, I'm still trying to process the fact that apparently Alex is aware of the player.
Well, he may or may not be. Maybe he's relating this to someone else.
There's only so many ways I can interpret that, really. And, you know, it's enough to just completely take me out of the fact that there is now a sole survivor occupying the couch. And might I add, the entire couch like a creeper.
Yeah, what a jerk.
Like, just move one of your arms out of the way so we can have a seat.
Yep, nothing to see here. Not holy shit, there's an entity. I am investigating downstairs. What do you want from me, game? Oh, okay.
Hey, sweet. There's that change in the seat.
Okay. I'm going to say it. I don't know if you've noticed. I certainly did. In fact, I'd been trying to ignore it all along.
Okay, that's a
You
bit
see,
of a turn.
There was a figure in my house. It followed me around. It was lurking in the corner of my eyes at all times. Was this why my mood had been so strange? Why I felt so weird since I last saw everyone? No.
Well, at least Alex is aware of the
I don't think that was
creepypasta. Gotta give him credit there.
Something
Yeah.
told me the figure wasn't bad. It had been here a while. Haven't you noticed it?
Look, it's even doing the dishes.
It had been
There's
here since I
something
returned home from
here
college.
that
Maybe even before. I think I
I'm
need to
slightly
speak with it.
flabbergasted at the fact that the game's actually trying to
materialized.
address
It
and
was no longer
conclude something
transparent.
and tie it back into the
Was it an entity?
overall flow of the
Why
story.
the hell was it living in my house?
And the fact that it was
out.
just
I don't
sort of
want you
ignored while
here.
it was on the
Do you
couch.
understand what I'm saying? Leave! Be gone! I wish Vela had taught me Banish.
You have Banish. You just have to go to the mine dungeon.
Also, that's, I have to say, perhaps the first time in a game I've ever seen a character lament a specific
What the hell
mechanical
are you
aspect
doing
that I
here?
also have a gripe about.
This isn't even a real TV show! Do you even speak English? Strong silent type, I see. Okay. What to do, what to do.
So his recording quality is changing between lines now.
I mean, it's always been doing that.
Alright, well, it just jumped out at me particularly strongly there.
Oh yeah, no, me too. I remember thinking, wow, Alex didn't always sound like that. Well, whatever. Have fun with your Who's Line or whatever you're watching. God damn it.
Well, you know, only so much to be done, I suppose.
Wait, do you just want to listen to the Backstreet Boys? Is that what you want?
Also, it seems to be playing on the radio in perpetuity. Alex just listens to it while he sleeps then?
I guess. I gotta tell you, the lack of state transitions for other parts of this, I think, are really kind of killing the mood.
It's a little unsettling, but not in the way that I think makes for kind of a compelling narrative turn.
Yeah.
Or, let me phrase that a little bit differently. It's unsettling, but not in a way that seems to be the result of anything other than just mechanical and narrative laziness.
Yeah, pretty much. So, now we get to go to the radio tower.
I kind of like the overworld version of the Soul Survivor, though. That was kind of cute.
I just noticed that. That's awesome. That's actually pretty well done. I think this was supposed to be more of a challenge, but I kind of wiped everybody out of here yesterday, so...
As you do.
Well, whatever.
Sequence breaking is certainly a valid approach to situations like this.
I don't know if it's necessarily sequence breaking, because I'm still doing the same stuff. Isn't sequence breaking more where you just sort of cut something out?
Yeah, so, yeah, you're correct. In that sense, this is really just the inverse of sequence breaking, which is doing the thing and then having to do it again as part of a scene.
Yeah, pretty much.
Ah, well, live and learn.
That's whatever. I mean, I don't mind. I got the XP for it either way. Somebody did come back in later and resell the bridges, though, so that's kind of annoying.
Not to mention replaced all the music with creepy ambient whatever.
Yeah, this song. This is the same one that played when we were chilling outside of the hotel.
I think one thing that kind of throws this off in comparison to the likes of, say, some of the ambient tracks in Earthbound or the similar ones in perhaps something like Jeremy Soul's first soundtrack for Secret of Evermore, is the fact that there's a lot of very high-pitched and highly oscillating instruments throughout the whole thing. This
was the turning point for my journey.
It's a bit unsettling, but not in a way that kind of creates a mood of depth and darkness, but more just...
You know? I didn't have to follow the entity here, but I'm glad I did.
I'm not sure, buddy.
I couldn't imagine life if I hadn't. But maybe there wouldn't be life if I hadn't. What do you want me to do with this?
Is that the soundtrack for the actual game?
I knew what the entity wanted.
Well, there is actually the soundtrack for Two Brothers up top. Did you see that?
Drop the needle.
Yeah.
To broadcast
also,
the lush and soaring
turning my head
tunes
to
of
my
this
side to see if
masterful
I can
LP for
identify
world
the other
here.
album that's on the table.
Okay, I'm getting ahead.
Nico Sakalakos, the
I didn't know that
first
affect me, but I had
something.
my suspicions.
There's nothing here. It's empty. Hey, not my fault. Do you know where it is? Does it have to be this record? What about one of the others?
Well, that's a
You
turn.
can talk. Okay, fair enough. What do you want me to do? Oh, great. Now you're mute. Look, I'll swing into town in the morning and see if they have this record, this mystical Ultima LP legend or whatever.
Well, that's an RPG-esque name for a record.
I'm sure that's intentional.
So you just followed the entity to a radio tower a few miles from town? What is wrong with you?
Thank you, Panda.
Though no thank you
don't
for
pretend
implying
you
that we're
wouldn't have
about
done
to
the same.
summarize what we just saw.
It's like morbid curiosity and whatnot. I wanted to see what it wanted, why it's been living with us.
So, I think the thing that rubs me
I
the
just
wrong
thought your
way
panda
about
friend
this
was getting to be a bit juvenile, so you
whole
picked up
thing
something more sinister looking.
is...
Har har. So, I'm gonna go
Doesn't
knock
the
on
timing
Michael's
just
door
seem
and
really
swing town, see if we can
convenient for
find
this to
mystical
happen?
Ultima LP legend.
You know, it's like,
Think that's a
well,
good idea?
I guess we
Think
can't
anyone
get a
really
job.
wants to talk
Guess
to
we
you after
better
that
throw
stunt you
ourselves
pulled?
into the Act 2 subplot.
Hey, easy. Why are you always trying to make me feel bad?
I mean, on the one hand,
I'll
I
pay
can
him a visit.
certainly appreciate that the
We'll
game
see.
didn't
No
feel
one's
the
mad at
need
me.
to dwell
They've
on that aspect
Just
of
been busy.
exploring Alex's pathetic nature as a gameplay element, but I feel a little bit more frustration at the fact that the story of the entity that we now realize is the source of all the creepypasta going inside Alex's house is, well, just going to continue to be deferred until later.
Yeah, no, I mean, the game's just gonna sort of put a pin in that, I guess.
Whatever, game.